Before you go out to do a stall, you need to reckon your pitch. Consider footfalls, space to operate, somewhere to hang a banner, that kind of thing. But there are two questions that people always ask: permission and insurance. Of course, if you go to a shopping mall or some privately owned place, necessarily you need to ask the owner's permission. There will be other times, like market days, you cannot set up a stall without paying what other stalls pay. Now, what about on a public space, in the high street? Now, it's a free country, not quite as free as it used to be, but there's no need to be worried about this. People argue about whether you need to have permission from the council to set up a stall in the street, but if you just wander about, there's no discussion. You can just do it. A lot of people, especially those who live in pretty old-fashioned parts of the country, just set up their stall anywhere and no one cares, no one's bothered. If anyone from the council did take an interest, it would just be to make sure you're in a good spot. Do you really think socialist worker types go around asking permission? Probably not. In any case, regardless of the rights and wrongs, the last thing you want is some jobsworth from the council coming along and querying your pitch. So we recommend that you pop down to the council and just check that nobody has any objection. Just like that, not begging for a pitch. They are likely to insist that they do have power to control street stalls, and they are likely to insist that you have public liability insurance. This is no big problem. All you have to do is to be aligned to one of the big campaign organisations and you'll be covered by theirs. This is not a bad thing, as they have leaflets and they have some pretty good kit to issue. You'll need to take care that you're not committing the old offence of obstruction, and of course your pitch is no good if it's in everyone's way. Nowadays you might be worried about expanded breach of the peace laws, which says that you are guilty if someone takes offence, reasonably or unreasonably. Look, in real life this hardly ever happens, and as far as we know has never been a problem in this whole campaign. Enough from me. Let's go over to Serena, who's out where the action is, out on the stall.
Your stall should achieve visual domination of the high street, so that a person who does manage to go down the street and not get a leaflet still knows what was going on and saw the message, "Leave the EU." There is a tutorial in this series on the construction of the stall, but we see here that the most important feature is the banner above head height that is clearly visible when people crowd around the stall, obscuring a banner below waist height. Where possible, the stall should be positioned facing the flow of pedestrians and motor traffic so that they see the banner. This helps the activist when he presents the leaflet, as the voter has already seen the banner and understands why a stranger is approaching them. A mascot or gimmick, such as a giant postbox, might be used to make the stall more of a piece of street theatre, but let us get onto that sort of thing another time. Your main other tool is your group of activists. You need to control the deployment and disposition of your activists, but there is nothing complicated about this. The important things are to make them visibly identifiable by badges, but better or by all wearing a red fleece, or, if you are beautifully built and it's a hot day, wear one of those t-shirts that are issued. Please resist the temptation to put them on over your coat. You only look a bit silly. Those green anoraks by Go are very good. The visual impact is higher, and again, the voter understands why the activist is approaching them. The normal person will not have that moment of confusion, even threat, as a stranger interrupts the conversation. Chuggers wear uniform for the same reason. You need to keep your activists as close together as is practical. Not so close that they are all leafleting the same people, but close enough that they are identifiable as a group. Again, this is not just for visual impact, but also helps the confidence and morale of the activists. It is also very important to stop people wandering off. They look odd leafleting all alone and can't send people to the stall. It might even be that they want to have a distance because they are not prepared to accept the discipline of what to say and what not to say, you know. Activists should be close to the stall anyway, because we always want to invite people to the stall. for more information and to sign them up as supporters. Maybe just to sign up to take a poster for the garden, maybe to join in next week's activity. If you need to set up a stall in a high street that is not pedestrianised, just along the pavement, you'll be looking at a pitch with a bit of space. Use your activists sparingly. A big crowd will just cause people to cross the road to avoid you. If you have too many, send a squad to do some mobile leafleting, or even just deliver door to door. It's a good idea to do a bit of preparation during the week, not just thinking of opening lines, but practice the arguments that go with the leaflets, what's in the news this week and the old favourites that people ask. There are also various leaflets for different people. It's good to have different leaflets for different types of people, and perhaps one activist for each kind of person. Feel free to use your discretion here. And now back to David in the studio.
Thanks for listening. I hope you found it a little bit useful. Just need to go out with a lot of confidence, get stuck in, and do the best we can. Country's at stake.